635, 636, 637. That's right, it's vlogging day 637, and I just did 637 push-ups after doing like 100 sit-ups, and that was like after I did 100,000 more sit-ups, because I'm the most uppest city upper. And no, I'm not on roids. I don't know why everybody keeps asking me that. No.
Wow, this thing, I gotta figure it out. Good morning, it's Saturday, and we are long overdue for a channel update, which is gonna be good because there's a lot to talk about. The goal board is all mangled. My room is a giant mess. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the flowers are perking back up. I can show you that in a second, but first, I need to get some coffee and some lunch because I've been up all morning working and haven't eaten anything. And not all morning, really, only for a couple of hours. Coffee first. Flowers, then coffee. Party town. I feel a lot better now that I have a little bit of food in my belly, some coffee in my hand. Whew, ready for this. I have a few things I want to talk about today. I feel like we need to do an update. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Jay. Hopefully you figured that part out by now. I don't really want to do like a catch-up or review today, for those of you who are a little bit worried about that. What I want to do is much more of like a where are we at with a bunch of things. We got a lot of loose ends floating around, lots of storylines, lots of things going on that I think are important to kind of recap. Not only for you, but for me. I need to kind of get a feeling for where I'm at. And I need to spend a little bit more time actually sitting down and dwelling on this than I'm going to give myself today, just because I have a couple of deadlines coming up very soon to do with the Kickstarter, but we'll talk about that here in a second. First thing, goal board. What a mess. I need to fix this up because when I started it, it was a little bit of an abstract for me. And I was in the middle, like I said, of surviving and kind of dying for it. So I really want to reevaluate this, make a new one, especially because this whole place is about to get trashed. It's already pretty trashed. You can see behind me, like my dad slept here the other night. I sleep here every night. Haven't even bothered making my tiny little bed today. This place is just a giant cluster. There's so many things that I'd like to talk about. There's so many things that are going on. But since we're on it, Room to Chateau is happening. It's actually happening. I sent an email to Casper this morning with a media kit because I hadn't done that yet. I've been meaning to do that. I have a couple of other mattress companies in mind, but I sent one to them just to start because I really don't know what I'm doing entirely. So I made this thing that just kind of showed where I'm at, explained my channel, statistics, all that kind of stuff. Just say a little bit about you, those of you who watch and that I'm familiar with, knowing what the motives are for people watching. I don't know, just trying to basically say, hey, look, like people watch me, can I have a bed? And so I'm hoping that they send me a mattress. But on top of that, okay, so I'm starting to send those things out. I've obviously already gotten rid of some furniture. I'm gonna be getting rid of more furniture. This whole place has gotta be cleared out as well because in May, getting some work done. My landlady, in a smooth move of generosity, because she's incredibly generous, is going to actually sponsor some of the renovations that go on in here. My initial plan, which is incredible, my initial plan, oh no, Dad, you forgot to take the tulips to Mom. I forgot to give them to you. I bought some tulips for Mom to plant in her garden, and I just realized those are here. Okay, that's an aside. I wonder if I can send these. Can I mail these? Oh, it's like a tulip in a can. Well, maybe we'll be growing our own tulip here. Sorry, Mom, this can be your participation in the vlog, is watching me grow a tulip for you. I ran everything by my landlady because I want to obviously do some changes in here. I wanted to get rid of some old furniture, and I want to clear out some stuff in the storage across the hall because I'd like to actually put that space to real use. She tends to be a little bit reluctant at first because she just wants to be brought on board, but in the end, she was very much on board. And to the point that when I brought the handyman in just to make sure that everything was possible, my intent with that was just to be like, hey, Felix, is it possible to do the things that I'm thinking? Like, and we'll go over this in detail here soon, like what all I'm thinking and what all he's gonna do now. Because I just showed him stuff. I was like, okay, I don't want to spend really any or much money, but there are a couple little things that I know my landlady would be okay with doing, like the paint and so forth needs to be redone. But then I was just running some ideas by him, like, okay, if I can come up with like the funding or the supplies or whatever to make a few things happen, would it be possible? He took that as like, I'm gonna do this, approached the landlady. She was like, okay, and now all of a sudden they're going to be doing a lot of work. I don't even know how much work exactly. I'm not 100% sure what all they're going to do. I am very certain of a couple changes they're going to make, which I'm really excited for. So that's cool. So Room to Chateau is on its way in more ways than one, which is really exciting. Making progress on that goal. On the weight loss goal, I'm at 197, so I'm headed in the right direction. Still very slowly right now. Losing weight, I would like to get back into it at a more intense pace because I just want it to be over with, but I'm definitely struggling to get on board with that. So it might take me another couple months to lose the remaining, 7 or 8 pounds that I would like to lose, but we'll pop that bottle eventually, hopefully. On the Kickstarter side of things, this will be brief because I know not all of you were into the Kickstarter. But on the Kickstarter side, I need to finish reading through the book. I'm getting close and I'm going to try and finish that in the next couple of days so that I can send the finished manuscript. Like, I just want to make sure that there are no glaring errors or anything that I may have missed, or I've made a few minor additions to it as I've gone. I'm going to send that over to the designer. He's going to do the interior layout, and I need to talk to him about redesigning the cover with the art that Nimit made. Still waiting on a couple of things from Nimit. That's why I haven't sent out the surveys yet for those of you waiting for surveys. Just gonna have to wait another few, I'm sure longer. He said the 18th, but I'm probably gonna have to wait a little bit longer than that to actually get the final posters from Nimit. But once we have those, then I can send all that out. Hopefully you received your link to download Shadows of the High Ridge, a short novel that I wrote a long time ago. It's a fun book and hopefully you enjoy it. For those of you who are reading it and enjoying it, it would actually make a huge difference if you took the time to leave a review on Amazon. That would be really, really nice of you. If you read any of my books at any point and you enjoy it, please it would be so helpful if you left an honest review on Amazon, and definitely honest. Like, don't pull any punches if there were things that you didn't like about it, anything like that. And one of the reasons that I think it's important, even if you didn't like the book and you want to take the time to write a review about it, that can actually help people who also wouldn't like the book for the same reasons you didn't like the book not to read it. It saves them some time and money. So I have no problem as long as your reviews are honest. I'd really, really appreciate it. The more reviews, the better. Like, you need like a good 100 reviews on Amazon before you click into their system properly. I have no idea what the number actually is. Nobody really knows, but I'd really, really appreciate it. And of course, when the book finally comes out, Couriers comes out, I will be asking for everybody to do that for that as well, because it's going to make a huge difference. Stickers are up at the Peloton. If you want stickers, the heart-shaped t-shirt, the heart-faced t-shirt, whatever, is available on Teespring. I will link below. The reason I link below, what we've discovered is that they're very quick to assume that they generated a sale. So make sure to click on the link below if you wanted to get a t-shirt, just to make sure. It's a huge difference. The shirts go for like $20. If you buy through that link, I make about $10 off of that. If you just go to the website and search for the shirt, I make like $1. Significant difference. The shirts, if you're wondering, look like this. They go over my face very well. Renna, who you saw at the movie with me last night, she's going to be modeling this one. And then I think my friend Kylie is also going to be modeling this one. Here's hoping. We'll get some beautiful ladies in these. And then I have a black t-shirt that I'm going to get a couple guy friends to model as well, which should be a lot of fun. So we're going to play with those. That's why I ordered 2 for that, just for the fun of it. See where they go. It's been suggested that I make this one available for all time. I'm going to keep it to 1 t-shirt per month for a while, just to see how you like each one. And then when, as things go, I'm just going to be playing with it and seeing. Obviously, you don't have to buy a t-shirt to be my friend or to follow or to hang out or whatever, but it's just another fun way to support me as I vlog every day. If you're not into Patreon or Kickstarter or just sending me random PayPals or anything like that, t-shirt's a really fun way to do it. And the stickers, once again, we'll figure out what to do with these. They're only available in person in Paris right now, but I might send some to my sister, and then we can figure something out especially if you're in America. We'll figure something out. Other goals on the goal board, Agnar's box. There's no real update because I haven't heard anything yet. I got rejected by 2 or 3 agents so far, and that's all I've heard. I don't know if I should follow up soon or not. There are varying opinions on following up, and I generally don't think about it that much. It's only every once in a while I'm like, wonder what's going on. But I'm not stressing out about it, not worried about it. It's a good book, and again, if it gets rejected across the board and nobody wants it, then I will bring it directly to you as well, and it's a fun book. I really can't wait to let you read it. I want Agnar's box out in the world. Thoughts on the Mercy shipping and the movies obviously have a lot to process with all of that. Let me know what you thought about my time with Mercy Ships when I was just there for a few days. I intend to keep doing Mercy Ships Mondays. They're a really fun way to dive in. I'm going to be trying to approach those from photos first and going from there. But if you're interested, do be sure to let me know. I missed that. There's a whole skill set involved with living in West and Central Africa, living on that ship, the jobs that I used to do, just interacting with people in general. It's so different, and you don't use any of that here or in the States, just kind of in the Western world. So I'm trying to figure out what that means. I don't know. I just felt very invigorated and alive while I was there, which is really, really fun. I love Paris, and this is home, and I intend to make this my home for the long term. But as many of you know, I do want to get to a place where I'm traveling, like a month on, a month off. The other thing that I'm really curious about is that there's a notable drop in engagement when I am not in Paris. I noticed that the views go down a little bit and people aren't quite as engaged. I think a lot of you that comment regularly and that are kind of just hardcore on board for whatever are here and with me no matter what, to a degree at least. But that's an interesting discussion to have as well, because I would like to get to the place, especially in the winter. I'd like to bounce out of Paris for a couple months in the winter, go to like Southeast Asia or something like that. I really want to spend time exploring new places and writing. But I also want to be involved in humanitarian efforts like I was with the ship, and I'm probably going to be involved with mercy ships for the rest of my life in one way or another, just because there's a level of passion there for what they're doing that I can't get rid of. I will be all about surgical solutions in West Africa for the rest of my life, I think, or until it's amazing the progress that's being made in a lot of those countries. It's pretty cool to see how far they're coming, and so they may not need us. And that's one of those jobs that you hope you work yourself out of. But until we work ourselves out of it, and with the new ship, everything like that, because for example, I know the guy who's in charge of the project to build the new ship that's being built in China. I would love to go to China and visit him and see the new ship while it's being built. Not 100% sure that's possible, but I want to reach out to him and ask and see. And I've never been to mainland China, so that would go towards the 40 countries on the goal board as well. Lots and lots of possibilities. The real tricky part right now is that, and part of the reason I think it's important to continue kind of testing with merchandising, and obviously Patreon is huge. We're almost at the $1,000 a month mark. Even though it only says that I'm pulling down $988 this month or something like that, I made over $1,000 for the first time ever this month on Patreon, which is crazy. That is insane. Thank you so much. With that movement, the closer we get to hitting that full-time creative bottle, the more I'll be able to travel and do these kinds of things, go see friends, go visit new places, all that kind of stuff, which I think is really fun and fascinating, and I would like to be doing more. So right now, really the hang up is kind of on the money side. I'm hoping to make a trip to the States this summer, but I can't really afford to go all the way home and see my family as well, which it was cool to see my dad this time, and I'd like to go see my sister and my mom and my brother-in-law and my niece dogs and nephew. I guess niece dog, nephew dog. They're different genders, both dogs. But I'm just trying to figure all that out. And it's not a big deal. I just want to be able to see people. It was so good to go see good friends on the ship. It was so good for my soul that I want that. Here's a little bit of the hang up. I want that to be my priority. I want to be going and seeing friends as my priority, but I've already kind of set my priority for the rest of the season to get to 40 new countries. I can kind of do that in small ways, and I'm going to do that, but I really want to also be seeing friends and spending time with people that are close to me. Which also brings me to another thing. For those of you who are hoping to come to Paris and meet me, that's cool. I think that's great. I would love to meet as many people as possible. We have a meetup going on the 27th of this month, and I know that not everybody's going to be able to come into town for meetups. The one thing that I just want to say is that I'm really sorry in advance, both on I know that I'm behind on emails, and I just found out that my spam filter has been filtering out any email from my website for the last month. So I just got back to a whole load of people at once because I hadn't been getting emails from there. But also, I don't really have a lot of time right now. I'm barely getting my work done, and I'm having a hard time even seeing the friends I already have here in Paris. So I just hope that nobody takes it personally if I just don't have time to see you when you're here in Paris. There are a lot of you that are actually really cool that have been commenting for a long time, that are patrons, that have been around for a long time, and I hope you know that I genuinely would like to meet you. It's just not always feasible, especially when I'm traveling or with family or whatever else. So I did have somebody get very upset with me recently because I didn't respond to their email in a timely fashion, and it did kind of, that's their problem, but it did kind of stick with me in the sense that I realized that it's only going to get harder. I'm already not able to respond to all comments 100% of the time, and I actually have given myself permission to respond to some fewer because I some of them I just don't even know what to say. But my goal is to respond to everybody. My goal is to make time for everybody that I can. It's just getting already to the place where it's going to be very difficult to scale with the demands on that time. So I know that most of you are aware of that. I don't want to discourage anybody from ever reaching out. I will hope that we can keep doing meetups. Maybe I'll do more regular meetups here in Paris and try to figure something out for that, just to give people a better chance of running into me there. I just hope that nobody's super pissed off that I'm human and I only have so much time during the day, basically, which sounds ridiculous to say out loud, but yeah, I don't know. I had that one person get really apparently upset with me just for not responding to an email, and so I'm sure that I've disappointed some people and that I haven't had time for. I didn't have time for the Champagne gang when we just didn't cross paths, for example. They're cool. They weren't upset at all, but I just feel really bad about that. I feel really bad about not being able to see a lot of people right now. So that's one other thing I just wanted to put on the table, and I'm going to try and do better, but do come to the meetup on the 27th. Cheryl linked to it in her Twitter feed. I will post something here soon as well, and hopefully we can see you guys. Trying to think if there's anything else. That seems like a pretty good state of the channel update. It's growing like crazy. The channel has doubled in size in the last 3 months, which is pretty nuts, and I think it's on track to just kind of keep doing that, which would be awesome. Patreon has grown a little bit more slowly the last few months because I haven't really been pushing it. I feel like with the Kickstarter going on and now I don't want to do too much. I don't want to push too much, but Patreon is always there and it makes the biggest difference. And if you're thinking of trying to figure out one way to, that was one of the things somebody wrote me. There was somebody's email got caught in the spam filter and they're asking me questions about wanting to support me on Patreon a month ago, and I never saw it, and I'm afraid that I've probably offended them and maybe lost them forever, which is sad. But if you're thinking of supporting me in a way that is ongoing and kind of reciprocal for the daily vlogging side of things, Patreon is definitely the number one way to do that. It makes a huge difference, both like emotionally and but also obviously financially, and it's getting me those kinds of things are getting me closer to being able to spend more time writing, which is ultimately one of my biggest goals, is to spend time writing, exploring, and sharing all those experiences with you. So yeah, I think that's about it really for the day. This is a giant mess. I'm going to be cleaning this up. We're going to be putting the Chateau together very intensely very soon, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that comes together. I have some more emails to write to some more companies that I'm hoping will sponsor stuff in here. If you're looking for a way to sponsor some new stuff in the Chateau and you'd like to add, I'm going to try and come up with a list of the things that I'm looking to get, because I had somebody offer to buy me a new refrigerator, and I need to follow up on that. But if you're looking or interested in sponsoring anything that would go into the room, I will try to put together a list. And my goal is to get, like, I don't want to get tons of stuff, but I do want to get nice things, like some nice things. Obviously, I'm fairly minimalistic in not my aesthetic right now. This is a giant cluster, but in the layout of the room. So I'll try to put together a list like that. A number of the items are going to be kind of expensive though, so I don't expect anybody to go for that. I'm really planning on just reaching out to some companies and trying to find sponsorships that way. But I do want to open that door because I get asked all the time for alternative ways to support me. And so I want to continue to offer those up because I know some of you would like to meet me on those. So anywho, that is enough for today. I'm going to get back to reading this book before I go meet some friends for a drink. I guess the call to action today would be, if you're still watching this, which is impressive, and you haven't already subscribed, obviously, please do subscribe. But then the real call to action would definitely be, if you've been thinking about jumping on Patreon and you want to push me over that $1,000 a month mark, Patreon's like forward facing. That would be amazing. Like if we crossed, we're so close. We're like $12 a month away from actually crossing the front-facing like $1,000 a month mark, and that would be insane and really getting close to the next goal that we have on there. Whew, man, things are good. Life is really good. Thank you for being a part of it. I'm gonna go because otherwise I'm gonna just keep talking to you forever, which I enjoy and I hope you enjoy. But yeah, over and out.